The Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA, passed in 1993, was a celebrated advancement in family-friendly policy in the United States. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the act provides 12 weeks of job-protected unpaid parental leave to parents upon the birth or adoption of a child. The FMLA was passed to guarantee job protection for new parents so they could care for their newborns and themselves. However, it failed in meeting the financial needs of families. Specifically, the FMLA technical report found that 46% of eligible workers were not able to take parental leave because they couldn't afford it. In contrast, all the countries, except for the US, in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, a coalition of 36 democratic, free market countries across the globe, offer partial or full pay during leave. Such international precedent and need for affordable parental leave warrants that the U.S. federal government consider revising the FMLA to provide paid parental leave instead of unpaid. Before making such a revision, the economic effects on all of the stakeholders, mothers, the labor market, and employers, should be considered in order to pass a policy that won't harm our society. And so, in this debated video, we will be discussing, should paid parental leave be mandated? Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Like, seriously, it's motivating when people subscribe, so please do. And with that said, let's start. Paid parental leave can affect the wages of mothers. A report by the Center for Work and Family at Boston College establishes that these effects would be seen specifically for mothers, as most fathers take only a day of parental leave for every month a mother takes. Since mothers are the primary leave takers, they would be more economically affected. A study by the American Sociological Review finds that women suffer a 5% wage penalty per child upon returning to work, with a third of it being due to job experience lost during leave. Even though the study focused on the effects of unpaid parental leave, its findings can still apply to paid leave as both types cause a loss of time and experience. Economists Claudia Olivita and Barbara Petrologan, both of whom specialize in research on women in the labor market, further expand this point by reasoning the motherhood penalty would get worse with the introduction of paid parental leave if the cost of providing the leave were to fall on the employer. They argue that if the cost of providing the leave were to fall on the employer, demand for women's labor would go down because of employer discrimination, causing a decrease in their wages. However, if the cost of paid parental leave were not to fall on the employer, different results should be expected. A report prepared for the U.S. Department of Labor analyzed the effects of paid parental leave laws in California, one of the 4 U.S. states that provides paid parental leave. They found that paid leave had minimal or no impact on labor demand and wages for women when the leave was 6 weeks long and government funded. This method of paying for parental leave would lessen employer discrimination as the cost wouldn't be borne by them. Additionally, the short length of leave would help lessen the wage penalty as mothers wouldn't be on leave for longer periods, increasing the feasibility of hiring them. The U.S. labor market would be affected by government-mandated paid parental leave because of its impact on the action of workers. 2 groups of parents would result from paid parental leave laws. The first group of parents would be encouraged to take paid parental leave because of increased affordability. This would cause an increase in the number of parents taking leave after the birth of a child, effectively decreasing the number of workers in the labor market. The 2017 FMLA technical report quantifies this by reporting that 46% of eligible workers did not take unpaid leave because they couldn't afford it, as we mentioned earlier. With parental leave being more affordable, however, more parents would be able to afford leave, making them more likely to take it. This would have negative effects on the economy as less people working would decrease economic productivity. While this group of parents would affect the labor market negatively, another group of parents would benefit the labor market. The second group of parents would have quit their jobs because they required more time than was offered by the FMLA or their employer, but they would retain their jobs if their leave was paid. Providing paid leave could motivate this group of parents to retain their jobs, increasing worker retention. Tanya S. Biker, an assistant professor in economics at Middlebury College in Vermont, expands on this theory of increased worker retention with her study on labor market participation trends in California and New Jersey, 2 U.S. states with paid parental leave laws. The results find that while short-term paid parental leave would cause more parents to take leave, that time would be replacing the time spent looking for a job upon return to the workforce. The second group of parents is responsible for the decrease in time looking for a job as paid parental leave motivates them to keep their jobs instead of quitting, increasing worker retention and affecting the labor market positively. Another area of concern is what costs and benefits employers would see due to the introduction of paid parental leave. According to the 2019 retention report on over 250,000 U.S. employees published by the Work Institute, 12% of employees quit their jobs due to a lack of work-life balance. With paid parental leave offering more flexibility due to increased affordability, employers would see lower quitting rates. This could save employers money in having to hire and train new employees. An analysis of research by the Oxford Economic Journal found that hiring and training can cost employers between 1 and 2 quarters of yearly wage payments. Therefore, employers would see reduced costs as they would have to replace less workers. Despite these potential savings, employers would also see losses through increased leave usage. This increased usage would result from increased affordability because more people would be able to take leave. The FMLA technical report finds that when an employee took unpaid leave, 74.1% of employers reassigned other employees, while 11.5% of them hired a replacement worker. With the increased usage of paid parental leave, these costs for replacement workers would increase as more workers would have to be temporarily replaced. Additionally, if the leave wasn't government funded, employers would have to pay for their employees on leave. Therefore, while employers could benefit from reduced employee replacement and training costs, they'd also see losses to temporary replacement costs and having to provide pay to workers on leave. Based on economic considerations, a revision of the FMLA to provide paid parental leave would have to follow certain guidelines. A short length of leave would lessen the negative effects women would see from less work experience, the labor market from more leave takers, and employers from temporary replacement costs. Additionally, a government-funded leave would be more beneficial because it would make hiring mothers more feasible for employers, decreasing discrimination. If the leave was government funded, however, it would incur costs to the government. Therefore, along with the economic effects, a way to raise funds for such a leave should be considered by policymakers. Thanks for watching this debated video. What do you think about paid parental leave? Should it be mandated? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.